So far, we built the backend independently from the front end. So we have to run the backend and then we have to run the front end so that they can communicate to each other. So what we want to do really is to bundle both the front end and back end into a single jar. So into a single jar that we can just run instead of running the back end and the front end separately. So here you saw that we need the backend up and running as well as the UI, and then they can talk to each other, right? So what I want to do is the following. So inside of IntelliJ, I want to basically start the application, and there we go, up and running. And in here, remember we add the API v1 and then students. And right here, if I go to localhost and then 8080, we get a white label error page. So ideally what we want to do is to bundle the UI that we've built into this page. So basically we want to map the UI, so the UI written in React, into the root of this application. So localhost 8080. So let's go ahead and open up IntelliJ, and in here what we're going to do is the following. So here let's just say that we want to open up the main and then resources and then static, and here let's create a new file, and this will be index.html. Now let me just say don't ask again because I will add this later. And here I just want to say h1, or actually HTML, and inside let me just see if I can have the h1 just like this. So h1, and then I want to say hello. Now if I reload the page, or reload the backend, my bad, and then go back in here, and if I reload, you can see that we have hello. So basically you can see that we also have the front end. So this is a React application which is running. So in fact, let me just cd into src and then front end, and then here I want to say npm and then start, and this will start the front end. There we go, up and running, but this is running separately, right? So ideally what I want to do is to take all of this, and then basically when we visit localhost 8080, we can see our beautiful UI. And you can see that the way it works is, so if I collapse this, all we need is to have the index.html in this folder right here. So the static folder, this is where we put all static assets for our front end. So in order for us to take whatever we have inside of the front end folder, and then inside of package.json, we have the build script, right? So this will build the UI so that we can then deploy that somewhere. So what we want is to build the UI and then copy that inside of this static folder, and then job done, right? So let's actually do this. So let's do this manually. So I'm going to open up the terminal and I'm going to cancel this. Then I'm going to say, so here I'm going to delete this. I'm going to say npm and then run and then build. And this now it's creating an optimized build production. And I just want to, walk you through step by step what we're doing manually so that we can actually use Maven to automate all of this. And there we go. So this has completed. And if I collapse this, you can see that we have the build folder in here. And also you can see that we have static, and inside we have this index.html. So what we're going to do is we're going to take all of this. So everything inside build, I'm going to press Command C, and then let's go into static in here. And let me delete this index.html, just like that, and then paste that in. Okay. And there we go. So we have a bunch of things that have been copied. And now let's actually restart the application. And what I want to do here is basically you can see that the front end is not up and running, right? So if I go here and if I reload, you can see that the front end is not up and running, but the server is up and running. And now if I reload, you can see that this is actually bundled up with our API. So the backend and the front end now are bundled up together. So here I can say API v1 students, and this also works. So this is actually a manual step that we have taken. And if we made a change to the UI, then basically we don't want to run npm build manually and then copy the resources into static, so on and so forth. So to rescue, we have the Frontend Maven plugin. So basically this plugin allows us to automate what we've just done manually. So it's really nice and easy to use, and you'll see this in action next.